For me, SANS, and I know a couple people they like tech elitists. I've never applied for a job that asked for a specific SANS certificate.
Duck says, what's the difference between A+ and ITF? A+ is a more advanced cert than ITF. ITF is the basic, most elementary IT certification you can get. So here's how I like to describe IT fundamentals. IT fundamentals is like a helicopter tour ride. Like, I don't know if you've ever been on a helicopter ride where they give you a tour of the city. They'll be like, ooh, over there is Disney World. Over there is Universal Studios. Well, that's kind of how ITF is. You're going to talk a little bit about, okay, this is the components of a computer. This is what input, processing, output looks like. We're going to talk about a little bit about database. We're going to talk a little bit about security, talk a little bit about binary. You just kind of just explore the various different lanes in IT really quick, right? Nothing in depth, nothing that's going to get you a $100,000 a year job. It's just some general info. A+ is when you actually start to focus on a certain area in tech. Okay, now we're going to learn about the inside and outside of how a computer works. Like what are the hardware, software, how do they come together to make this thing come to life so that you can sit here and watch me on YouTube right now. So that's where we actually kind of start specializing a little bit. And then obviously the higher you go, and then especially when you start jumping off into vendor specific certs like AWS or any Cisco type of stuff, now we're getting super specialized where we're learning how to use certain types of equipment made by certain vendors. And then that's what actually helps you get to the 6 figures and beyond mark. That's the main difference. They're both entry level, but A+ is a step above ITF where now you're really starting to focus on one particular area. You got anything for that? You good?
No, you killed it. That's your area more than me.
Let's see. Process of elimination is a great test taking strategy. Yeah. Like I say, when it comes to these certs, you only got so much time. You need to be able to quickly look at the question, try to figure out what they're asking you, and then look at the answers and figure out which ones don't apply. Toss them out. So now that we're down to two answers, now we got a 50-50 shot of getting this thing right? So that is one way you can try to save time. If it takes you longer than 30 seconds to read a question, this is assuming everybody doesn't have any type of reading disabilities, right? Because that's another thing. When you guys go register for these CompTIA tests, like those of y'all who buy vouchers through me, when you guys buy a voucher through me and I email you the voucher code, I also believe I include some links in there that actually tell you if you have some type of disability, what Pearson VUE will, how they will accommodate you if you're able to submit whatever paperwork they want you to submit. So, I want to stress that. But if you have just quote unquote normal reading skills, whatever the heck that means, it shouldn't take you. You shouldn't spend more than 30 seconds reading these questions trying to figure out what the heck is going on.
Yeah, I go to Pearson, like you said. I'm studying for the CISSP, and it's valid for that too. Like you said, usually 2 are real off. So, the last 2 is really where you got to figure it out.
It says, is the IT field becoming too saturated? Hell no. Last time I checked, at least in the US, there were like 700,000. I don't know if this is global or just the US, but the number was like 700,000 unfilled cybersecurity roles. Matter of fact, let me Google that right now.
I thought it was 1 million, Tech G. I answered right in there. I put 1 million. I heard anywhere from 8 to 1.2. So I'm right there with you. Last time I looked, I thought it was 1 million. So
right here on the screen, I just did a quick Google search. How many unfilled cybersecurity jobs are there in 2023? So as of February 2023, there were 755,000 cybersecurity job openings in just the US alone, with the highest number coming out of California with like 81,000 positions. I don't know what this is. 3.5.
Come on, 3.5 seems a little much. 2025, Ted.
Okay.
2025. We're gonna be.
Yeah. So by 2025, there's going to be 3.5 million unfilled positions, meaning they don't have the bodies to fill these positions. They need people to go out there. I want to say a couple years ago, Joe Biden, he signed into law or signed some bill allocating like $10 billion towards the IT cybersecurity infrastructure, to where some of that money, a lot of that money was going to be going towards grants of people training people to become cybersecurity professionals, because this cybersecurity thing is not going away. There's a gang of jobs out there. The problem is we don't have enough people that are qualified to do the jobs. If you decide to get certified and find you a tech job, assuming you don't have anything crazy in your background preventing you from getting hired, you shouldn't have an issue finding a job. They'll probably be begging you to get on.
Like Tech G said, you just gotta get your skills up. Like you said, help get some experience, get your first job, and you, like you said, you can be off and running. There's a lot of jobs in here, a lot of contracting jobs, a lot of civilian jobs, a lot of government jobs. Everything is kind of needing cybersecurity at a certain level. So,
All right, what do you think about SANS certifications?
I like them. They just be crazy expensive. Hell, I get banking on one of they be like 7,000, 2,000. So for me, I can just read what they do and self-study a lot of times. For me, SANS, and I know a couple people got they like tech elitists. I've never applied for a job that asked for a specific SANS certificate. Usually AWS, Security Plus, or CISP is usually one, especially when you're looking for government or consulting work. But once again, I like them. They're just price prohibited for me, I guess.
I had a question earlier where somebody was saying that they were a 25 Bravo, the IT people for the Army. About a year or two before I got out the Army had opened up another job called 25 Delta, which was the cybersecurity division of the Army. And so basically, I think you had to be like an E5, a sergeant, or an E6 to just apply to get in. And then I had a couple friends that actually made the switch. And what happens was when we were in our regular field, 25 Bravo, they were kind of stuck at the E6, E7 level. But when they switched, some of them jumped up to first sergeant, and one of them even went up to as high as sergeant major. Like, it was just a wide opening. But one of the things about that career field was they were teaching SANS certifications up in there, all for free. And just like you mentioned, these SANS certs can run into the thousands of dollars. But I remember they were going through getting them certifications, and I used to view them as tech elitists as well.
Yeah.
But like I say, the reason I didn't do it because it opened up around the time I was getting out. So I was like, I'm done. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it presents opportunities, especially if you want to do government work and stuff like that. There will be a lot of opportunities, but the problem is, can you afford those certifications? Now, if you think CompTIA is expensive, as a matter of fact, here, I'm pulled up a pricing. I don't know how accurate this is, but let's just take a look at it anyways. So they're over here saying that these things, this one right here, the practitioner cert is like $1,000. The applied knowledge cert, another $1,200. Like, these things can get a little pricey. I've never taken a SANS cert, but I don't know if this is just all just one. Like, I don't even know how this works, but I know they were giving it away for free in the military at one point.
I thought they were a little more than that, man.
I mean, they might be. I don't know. I just pulled up the first thing that I saw because I've heard of some costing as much as like $5,000. But
those are ones I saw a couple times. And two is my job reimbursed me when I passed. So if you don't pass, you got to eat that $5. I was like, I don't know, because I didn't pass CISP in 2005. I mean, it was 700. That hurt, but that didn't hurt. 5,000, man, that's a crazy number.
Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, if you can get your job to pay for this stuff, and then you actually go out there and pass, they reimburse you or whatever, that's the best thing to do. But just to do it just because you want to have it and you don't plan on using it, I don't know if it's worth it.
My job had to pay for it, and there need to be a promotion coming around as soon as I get it or something for me that, But two, I'm at a certain age too. I ain't trying to do that type of study much anymore.
Man. All you young bucks, y'all can have at it, man. I'm kind of done chasing certifications.
Yeah, then just real quick, if you go AWS, just Google free tier, then they give you a year on everything from the database to Aurora to EC2 to containers. You can do Docker and Kubernetes and AWS for free for a certain year. So all that's out there under the free tier. Usually, I had my account forever. So even when I lab, it's about $5 when I lab for about 4 or 5 hours for a particular technology. So I used to have hardware in my house, but now I just spin it up in AWS. Till I get practice in AWS, it's just a lot easier than me trying to set up 4 Dell boxes like I did in my house in 2000, right? It's a lot easier way to do it. So
Ocean Blue says, what's the best way to get into cybersecurity? I'm a 5th grade math teacher. I've been teaching for 18 years and I need a career change. I've been watching your test prep. The way I tell people, A+, Net Plus, Security Plus, go get those 3 certifications. They're your foundational understanding of all things tech, meaning what's a computer, how do they communicate, and what are the basic things you can do to protect the computer, i.e. your Security Plus cert, which is your first cybersecurity certifications. Go out there, get a job, start working the job, and then you're going to transition into a cybersecurity role. That's the most tried and true path for most people that have produced the best results. Most of y'all aren't going to go from knowing absolutely nothing to now you've been hired to be the cybersecurity person doing whatever. That's not going to be the case. Most times you got to start working in tech and then transition into a cybersecurity role. And then you'll be on your way to becoming a cybersecurity professional.
And two is look at PMP work, project management work. That's kind of a less technical way to get in IT. So there's a couple ways to do it, but Tech G's right. That's the blueprint. A plus, Network Plus, and Security Plus is the blueprint. But if you want to do a little project management, business analyst, that's another way to get into IT and also get into technology.
IT is in need of skilled individuals, and they are short millions of roles. And in every area, there's no saturation, but entry levels are difficult due to everybody wants to get into tech. Yeah, I agree with that. Everybody wants to get into tech. They see the writing on the walls. They see the so-called job security, which there is no such thing as job security, but it's at least more secure in tech roles than a lot of other places, because you get fired from one industry, your skill set can easily go to another industry because you'll be doing the same thing somewhere else. Plus, as long as we got electricity and computers, IT is never going away.
And shout out to TechRx/Engineering Cannabis. And you brought this up. When people talk about AI, machine learning, we're so short. The jobs is taken away or the jobs is not filled. So I think it's going to be a long time before AI going to make IT people get laid off, right? So I think it's making people more efficient. But we so short on people, we need AI to help us keep up. So that's my 2 cents on that.
AI is doing a wonder. I mean, it's doing some great things out there, and you need to figure out how to incorporate it into your workflow. Like I say, not just for job security purposes, but maybe even for job security purposes, but just incorporate it, because it can speed up processes. Like I'm using it in certain aspects, and it can possibly create a little bit more free time for you to focus on other things if whatever you got going on. So don't be afraid of it. Try to embrace it. But like I say, as far as a full-blown robot just doing your job all the way, I think we're a couple decades away from that happening.
And two is one of my memberships, because you got me thinking about it, is one of mine is going to be using GRC, which is governance risk analysis, and using AI. ChatGPT, like I suck at writing policies, but ChatGPT does a great job at it, right? So I can have it do the policies and double check and smooth it out, make it sure it's in the company template and the company verbiage, right? So that cuts my job area and that down by 70%, and I'm more efficient to do other things. PBL become more valuable. So that's one thing hopefully I'm doing a membership is, like you said, using AI machine learning to make you more effective as a person in IT, to make you more valuable so you can get 6 figures. And like you said, using it for what it's made for is really to assist people.